Well, at least there's Frankenweed to look forward to later this year. Dark Shadows is Tim Burton's adaptation of the famous 1960s to early 70s Gothic soap opera of the same name, and it stars Johnny Depp as Barnabas Collins. Barnabas leads a content life until he refuses his love to this witch named Angelique, who ends up cursing him for his life and turns him into a vampire, and ends up burying him underground for over 200 years, and that's until he awakes in the year 1972, where he must adhere to the new things in life, especially the time period change as well, while also trying to put the Collins family back on track in the city of Collinsport. Now, based off of the only trailer that was released for this movie, I was really not looking forward to it because it just reminded me of everything that went wrong with Alice in Wonderland, which would try to balance out the dark and the comedy, and never really found a good balance in between where it favored one over the other. And while that is a problem in Dark Shadows, it's a film that was nowhere as bad as Tim Burton's past movie. However, it really isn't all that good either. And I'm not saying this as a Tim Burton hater in any way. I like some of his movies, I just haven't seen many of them, which is my problem. Like Edward Scissorhands, for instance. Johnny Depp brings on his usual eccentric acting style to the character of Barnabas Collins. While he does deliver a good performance, it is pretty one-note at times because he really just plays the same character as he has been the past couple Tim Burton movies that he has done, which is just one eccentric character that says and does weird things throughout. Aside from Depp, though, the film has a great supporting cast comprised of Michelle Pfeiffer, Ava Green, Jackie Earle Haley, Johnny Lee Miller, Chloe Grace Moretz, and so many more. However, the real problem with all of them is that all of them are really good actors. The problem is they're just not utilized to full potential, and I feel like Burton had to find an excuse at times to put Depp in every single scene that these characters were in. I always want to say it went a little something like this. Alright, I'm just flipping through this now. No, wait. Hey, Johnny's not in this scene. You better fix that right now or you're fired. Also, out of that ensemble, Ava Green as the villain for this movie, I just didn't really find her particularly appealing, even though she does look good, of course. The real problem with her, I feel like she played it with the wrong approach to a villain. She really played it more as an over-the-top Disney villain than trying to find one to be menacing, because when you think of a witch, they can be comically mischievous at times. However, Green just never finds that balance within the character, and it just really is a meh performance overall. Just like all the previous Tim Burton movies I have seen, though, his attention to detail is amazing, and that's within the costume design, the art direction, and just the overall look and tone of the film, because I really dug the retro and Gothic 1970s setting that the film had going for it, and I really like the soundtrack too. There were a lot of great 70s songs that played throughout. In particular, one of my favorites being a Black Sabbath song, which I assume a lot of you have heard it before. And also, Alice Cooper is in this film. Now, turn back the clock. He was 24 back in 1972. And now he's in his 60s, and he's starring in a movie set in 1972. What's up with that, Burton? The problems with this movie, though, really lie in how disjointed it is, because it tries to balance so many things in together that it never really has a coherent story going for it. It jumps from one thing to the other every 10 minutes or so, and it never really fully fleshes out those scenes in particular. It just jumps from being a comic scene to the next, and then a scene which is trying to build up the Collins family name again. It just never knows what the movie wants to be at times, and the overall product just feels so disjointed all over the place. And the final act in particular is very badly paced, because a lot of the scenes that follow in those final 30 minutes or so are very repetitive in what happens, and it just really drags on at times, in which I just really kind of wanted it to end because it just kept on getting repetitive at times. And also, one thing that's definitely going to get on some people's nerves is the ending. I'm not going to give away what it is, of course, but it's something that is just very shameless to do, because I feel like this kind of movie itself, it doesn't even deserve to end that way anyway. Dark Shadows is very mildly enjoyable at best. It works at a rental at the very most, and otherwise, if you haven't been a fan of Tim Burton's past few movies, you'll definitely want to pass on this one. However, if you admire his artistic ability in his directing, because it definitely shows in this film, then give it a look, because it probably won't bite for that. But I'm going to have to give Dark Shadows 2.5 out of 5 stars. So I hope you enjoyed my review of Dark Shadows. If you didn't see my latest episode of Trailer Tuesday, click the annotation right here to check that out. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter and my Facebook page, and also subscribe to the Film Freaks podcast, which its first episode will be recorded this weekend and put up in the next few days or so. So in the meantime, Tower from CaliCritic Reviews, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.